So it is January 12th, 2024. It is 42 degrees, at least the last time I checked. So it's actually a very nice day, relatively speaking, to ride. And that's what I'm doing today. This is actually going to be the first ride that I'm doing in 2024. My last ride was actually December 31st. It was only about a 20-minute ride, actually. But before it gets too cold, or it gets cold again, or it snows again, I want to try to get in as much time as I can. So what I'm actually going to do today is do my little loop. At this point, these little loops are just to kind of get myself reacclimated to the wheel and kind of check to see if there's anything wrong with it. I have it angled a little bit more up so that it's easier for me to stop. And I think I'm just better balanced that way. I think I naturally tend to like lean forward in general when I'm standing. I have terrible posture. So this kind of counters that a little bit. Let's see, do we have any wobble going on? A little bit. I did calibrate the wheel again before I left, but honestly, I don't know if it does anything anymore. The way you calibrate it is, it's just a little function on your phone. You lay the wheel down and you just hit calibrate, and usually it instantaneously says that it's been calibrated. I don't know if I believe that. But anyways, yeah, so far so good. We're doing okay. Wheel is doing okay. So what I think I'm gonna do is also I am using a different microphone, but I want to test all of the microphones. So I have, right now, you should be seeing two different views, unless my pocket camera is messed up again. It's been doing that lately. It's been like it just goes crazy. Like the gimbal itself just goes bonkers, and then it shuts down. And since it's mounted to my chest and I have a motorcycle helmet on, I could barely see it. So if it does mess up, I don't know until it's too late. But we'll see. I'm also using a lapel mic that I have mounted inside of my helmet. And hopefully that's doing okay. So I have hopefully 3 different ways of recording audio, as well as the 2 different cameras for the video. Again, assuming it works. Now, for today, I'm gonna go to the Heritage Rail Trail, and it is it's a pedestrian slash like bicycle trail that runs through Middletown, goes into Goshen. I think it runs all the way to Harriman. Might even go a little further. Now, what I want to do today is actually see how far I can get before I get fatigued. And then once I get fatigued, I'll stop, rest a little bit, and then make my way back and see how that works out. Because I do want to make longer trips on this thing. And right now I'm kind of limited to, I would say, about 30 to 40 minutes before I just actually have to stop. When I first started, it was about 20 minutes. So I've doubled my time at this point. Who knows? Maybe I can make it an hour and then rest a little bit and then do another hour eventually. But we'll see. For today, we're just going to very carefully navigate these streets, because I'm not going to lie about this. The drivers here are hit or miss, right? Sometimes they are very courteous, very self-aware of their surroundings, and then sometimes they just don't give a shit, and they will just either come really close to me as they're driving around me, or completely ignore my presence. This is a problem. The light just changed on me. Let's try to do this. Yeah, they'll completely ignore my presence, and you know, I've actually dropped the wheel once already because of that. I had there was a pickup driver. He was coming to a stop at the red light, at the traffic light, and he unfortunately got really close to the curb just as I was trying to cross the intersection, and I had to bail. Luckily, I didn't lose the unicycle. It just kind of fell over, and the guy just kept driving like nothing happened. I don't even think he noticed that I was even there. So that's a problem. The other problem I have right now is I can't see behind me. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the wheel just now, but that was kind of odd. It was almost like it disengaged. So when you cut the motor, there's a little kill switch when you're gonna lift it. If you engage that kill switch, it's like the motor stops, which means the wheel will free move, or it'll move freely. And as a result, it's gonna go forward or back wherever gravity is pulling it. And I think that's what actually kind of happened. For like a split second, it did that. And then as a result, to compensate, it leaned me back. All right, whew. That's a lot of wind noise. I don't know if it's coming through on the microphones, but yeah, that's a lot of wind noise. I will need to invest in some kind of a mirror, because currently I cannot see behind me unless I turn my head, you know, as far back as I can. And just the current setup is not really it's not going to work that way, not quickly anyway. If you go and you turn your head back, or in any direction really, and you're not fully prepared for it, you will go where you're facing. So when you're riding, you want to turn left. Not only do you physically move your body to turn left, but you got to look where you're turning, because your body follows. Also, forgot to mention this, but as you see, I just jumped on and started going. Don't look down. Don't look down, because if you look down, that's where you're gonna go, down. You want to look forward to the distance. Okay, same with motorcycle riding. I learned that is an issue when you're learning how to ride for the first time a motorcycle. You kind of look right in front of you at the ground, and I'm not sure exactly why we do this when we first learn to ride, but yeah, we look down. You kind of look directly in front of you. And when you first learn how to ride a motorcycle, a lot of times you're already looking at your handlebars. Usually you're looking at your gauges and all this other stuff, and you kind of get into that habit. But then you start looking directly in front of you. So you get into this habit. Let me get back to what I was saying. You get into this habit of you look down. You look down at the ground in front of you, maybe like 5 feet in front of you. That's bad. That is not good. You want to look like, if you're driving a car, you don't look directly in front of your car. You look like, you know, about a block away if you can. You look straight down the road. That's how you actually stay going where you need to go, and you can see things ahead of time. But I caught myself doing that when I try to get on the wheel and start moving. I'm too busy looking at my feet and the pedals, and I'm not really paying attention to, you know, where I'm supposed to go. And you're actually a lot more unstable that way. All right, let's see if I can make it on here. All right, not too bad. So this is the Heritage rail trail. And it starts here. They're supposed to expand it, and I probably mentioned this in another video. Hopefully they expand it all the way down to Fantradavage Park. If they do that, then I can actually ride straight from the park onto this and avoid all the traffic, all the craziness that I was dealing with just a little while ago. Not to mention it's a nice smooth level path. And unfortunately my legs are already getting tired, and that's not good. Last time I did this, I was able to get pretty far. I didn't reach Goshen. I didn't reach the next town over, but I did go pretty far. Oh, they did not clean this very well. But all right, so I'll try not to talk too much because I don't really have much to say. I just want to get to where I need to go, see how far I go, and hopefully record some good video. Now, I do have to mention, because I just noticed, because the wheel is angled up, meaning the front of the wheel is angled upwards more. I have it at, I think, a -5 angle. I don't know if it's in degrees or what, but the balance angle is at -5. So it raises the front up a little bit. If you put it, oh, somebody did not clean this. Dang it. That's not cool. Oh, okay. Well, I totally missed, and I went over the snow. But it seems okay. We're okay. Yeah, so I have it at a -5 degree angle. I don't know if it's degrees. It's pointed up, which means it makes it easier for me to lean back and slow it down to come to a stop. But to go forward, I have to actually lean even more to accelerate. And, you know, that's not... I don't need to go fast. I'm not trying to outrun anything. I'm not stable enough to be racing anything or trying to race through things. I'd much rather be able to slow down and stop much quicker than be able to accelerate much quicker, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to outrun anything or try to, you know, race through anything. But yeah, I'm noticing that though, that I do have to lean a little bit more forward, more aggressively, to get it to move. I'll probably eventually play with the angle a little bit and maybe get it somewhere between -5 and 0. I don't like 0. 0, it's too far forward, in my opinion, or it's angled too far down, especially at night. It makes the headlight useless, completely useless. But also, like I said, it's a stability issue. I'm not too stable on this thing, especially when it's leaning forward, because I tend to lean forward to begin with. Now, I think when it gets warmer, meaning springtime, and I've gotten much better at this, I'll start making, I guess, tutorial videos. Not really, but more like a video where, you know, based on my experience, I can show you what worked, what didn't work, so that if you're, you know, watching this and you want to learn how to ride, you don't have the wheel yet, or you are gonna get the wheel, and, you know, before you do, you want to just kind of get an idea as to how it is to learn how to ride. We'll do some of those. I also need to do some drills. I want to practice my maneuverability. Eventually, I want to get so comfortable on this wheel that I can actually ride backwards. I don't mean like for a long distance, but be able to like parallel park, so to speak, using this wheel, even though that's not what I'm doing, but be able to stop and then kind of quickly, you know, back up a little bit. I don't really want to go too crazy with it. I'm more than content with just being able to move on this thing. Now, I will say a couple of things. Learning to ride this was a little tricky at first, just a little bit tricky, because it is a new thing. I spent, I would say, a few days, just maybe 10 minutes each day, just going back and forth, not even going more than like 5 or 6 feet, just back and forth. Sometimes, most of the time was supported. Once I got, past that, then it was, as you might have seen in one of my earlier videos, just in my driveway, going down, turning around, coming back, down, turn around, come back, just to get acclimated to it. If you rollerblade, or you've ever rollerbladed in your life, that's going to help. If you've ridden motorcycles, that's going to help. A lot of the same mechanics of using your body to maneuver this thing is going to be the same. This is a very pretty area. I should be really close to, what is it called? It's some marketplace, Mason's Marketplace or some shit like that. I don't know if that counts as a different town. I think it's like halfway between where I started from and the town of Goshen. So that was my personal best last time. I made it to there, turned around, and had to come back. So far, my feet are a little bit fatigued. I've noticed that if I reposition my legs, and by so I mean just maybe I'm straight legged right now and then I bend a little bit, if I do that, I can actually rest my muscles a little bit in the legs so that the fatigue kind of goes away. The feet, I haven't quite figured out yet how to do that other than to just get off the wheel. I have no idea how fast I'm going. Don't have a speedometer that I can look at while I'm riding. The only thing I can do is track it with a GPS app that I have, and it'll tell me basically my average speed and my top speed. That's about it. So it's not something that I can see like in real time unless I pull out my phone, which I'm not going to do while I'm riding. I've seen videos of riders that are more capable than I am, and they'll have their phone strapped like to their wrist so that they can just, it'll be like a giant wristwatch, and they kind of just turn their arm and they look at it. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I really don't think I'm gonna do that. It ain't necessary for me. Let's slow down a little bit. And I do need to get some kind of side mirrors. I know that sounds silly, but I need some kind of a mirror that I can have on my helmet so that I can just, kind of with the corner of my eye, just look and see, oh, there's somebody behind me. Oh, there's somebody about to pass me. Because having to turn my head that much is just, it's a danger. So this is, I believe it's called Mason's Marketplace. I could be wrong. This was my personal best last time, and we're gonna keep going and see how far I get. Attention bikers. Okay. I always read those signs and it always says no motor vehicles. And I know I'm being nitpicky when I say this, but there's a difference between a motor vehicle and a motorized vehicle. When I hear motor vehicle, as I've said in the past, I think of the Department of Motor Vehicles, meaning vehicles that are street legal. That's what they're regulating. So when they say no motor vehicles, I'm assuming they mean no motorcycles, no gas-powered vehicles. Technically, I think this is called, not only is it an electric unicycle, it's called a personal vehicle, a PV, and I forget what it's called. But it's like it's classified differently, and they did not clean this area at all. Okay, that's not good. This could also mean that this is a different town. I think each town is in charge of... Oh my god, this is a nightmare. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Okay, we're gonna have to stop soon. Yeah, I'm not gonna... Okay, I'm gonna keep going because it looks like it clears up a little bit overhead, ahead of here. But yeah, this is... I'm starting to think that, yeah, that we are in a different township, because this is not clean. The other spots were clean. This one, they didn't maintain. So I think each town is responsible for maintaining their strip of the Heritage Trail. All right, it looks like a mess further on, so I'm gonna stop here, turn around, and maybe I can turn around without falling over. Oh wow, okay. This might be where I practice. So I might come here when it gets warmer and just practice my figure eights, my complete, turns, U-turns, because yeah, this is just perfect. I think maybe I'll bring some cones, some small cones to kind of guide me. Oh my god, riding through the snow is bad. I don't like this at all. But as long as it's not terrible, like I'm pretty sure if it was on the side where it's just all snow, I would not be able to make it through. And I fell. Okay, so that was the first major fall. I'll be honest with you, I kind of knew that was going to happen. I kind of wanted to see. I was testing my limits. Don't know how it's going to show up on camera. The wheel ate it. It fell over. I was not even going to try and save it. But thankfully, I was going slow enough that I can run. When I fell, you could probably see the tracks right there, my feet. I kind of did a little run before I could stop. You know what? I'm just going to walk this. Yeah. So I'm going to walk this. Both my cameras seem to be still on, so that's good. Whew. Also, I'm resting my feet at the same time doing this. But yeah, I kind of expected that to happen. Whew. But now I know the limit. Okay. So let's take this moment to kick some snow off, first off. Okay. Now, the other problem with having this angled so high is it is a little tricky. It makes it a little tricky to start. But instead of looking straight down at the wheel, you see your feet placement. You're going to want to, at the very least, I keep hitting my camera. At the very least, you want to look down just to get your first foot in place. But then after that, you want to look forward. You don't want to look directly down. You want to just kind of get yourself situated and then kind of rock it back and forth. Get a little kickstart going. And then that's it. Done. Ready to go. Now, this is a little bit more uphill as well. So that was a little bit of a rough start. Why is there it is. I'm guessing that little bit of a fall screwed up my camera placement, but that's okay. I'm assuming I'm still recording. My Pocket 2 looks like it's recording. I can't really tell unless I actually take it off the mount. Whew. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. Could have been a lot worse. I could have eaten the ground. Thankfully I didn't. But yeah, that was probably... I wasn't going very fast at all. Any faster and I probably would have busted my ass. I probably would have just... As soon as my feet hit the ground, I probably would have just ate the ground. Oh boy, this is a bit of a difficult spot to be in. We're good? We're good? Okay, we're good. Okay, yes, that is correct. It is Mason's Marketplace. I just saw the sign. Whew. See, look how nice it's cleaned out here. And then once we cross that road, it's like we cross into a whole nother area. And they didn't do a good job. I gotta look at the map and see if it is in fact a different town. They should put signage. You know how like when you're driving through and they kind of tell you more or less where you're at on the highways and such. They should do that here. They should tell you, oh yeah, you're now crossing into a new town. But unfortunately, that does kind of ruin my plan for today. I did want to see how far I could go. I was hoping I could actually make it to Goshen and then just stop, rest for maybe 10-15 minutes and then come back. But as you know, as you can see, that it was just going to get worse. I could see further down on the path that there was still snow on the ground, so it wouldn't even be worth it. So at least I got this far. Now I will say this: whenever you drop the wheel like that, at least in my experience so far, it kind of feels wobbly when you get back on. I don't know if the calibration gets knocked out and you got to recalibrate, but yeah, now it feels a little bit more wobbly than it did before, so I may need to recalibrate it. Am I gonna stop and do it now? No, I just want to ride. So I'm gonna ride back. Don't know how long it's been. It's probably been maybe 20-30 minutes, you know, rough estimate. Okay, I gotta go to the left to get through here. No cars coming. Good. I do love this path. This is great. It's also great if you're on a bicycle because it's very minimal incline. It's pretty flat for most of the path, and when it does go up or down, it's so gradual you barely notice it. But if you're doing like on the streets, if you're riding through the streets, what you end up doing is having to deal with a lot of heavy incline. And he actually waited for me to pass. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a person that's self-aware, although I'm not riding a giant machine, so he could have kept walking. It would have been fine, but at least he was aware of what was going on and chose to kind of sit back and let me pass. He's probably a really good driver too. I mean, or he could be worse, I don't know, but at the very least he's self-aware. I've been on this path riding bicycles, and the whole path will be blocked because there will be maybe 4 or 5 people walking together in such a way that they're blocking the entire path. They'll see people coming at them. They don't move. They don't bother to look behind them. And this guy's not paying attention. They don't bother to look behind them to see if anybody's coming. No, you got to work your way around them. And in one of the videos, I cut it out because I didn't want to get too. I didn't want to show that side of things, but you know, I almost ran somebody over because I was coming up behind them, saying "excuse me," really loud, "excuse me," and they didn't want to move. And I got probably a few inches right behind them, and then I said "excuse me" one more time, and somebody, I guess, realized what was going on, and they kind of moved each other out of the way. And then of course they all gave me dirty looks as if I was the one that was in the wrong. You know, you have that, and then sometimes you have, like I had another instance where it looked like a couple with their kids on bicycles, and they stopped in the middle of the path and just left their bikes, like, you know, with the kickstand down, perpendicular to the path, so that essentially they were blocking the entire path. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Move to the side, put your shit to the side. Like, people sometimes, it's like they don't think about the people around them, and that could be a problem. But as I said, for the most part, I mean, you saw there's barely anybody on here. Yes, it's winter. In the summertime, it's probably just as packed. Maybe on the weekends, it'll have more people, but very rarely do you actually see a lot of people on here. So there's plenty of room to get around, you know, shouldn't be an issue. If I was in the city, I probably wouldn't even want to use this thing. I would probably walk this to a bike path and then ride it. I would feel less secure riding this than a bicycle. I used to ride bikes, you know, my bicycle from Brooklyn into Manhattan to, you know, from Bushwick over the Williamsburg Bridge, and I used to get to, oh, they're taking pictures. Or they're just talking shit. I don't know. There's some people over there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are they taking pictures? I don't know what they're doing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they're just talking shit. Hello.
I need you to go inside, though.
Again, what did I just say? Right in the middle. Like, get the fuck off the side. Alright. Let's try not to hit some snow. There we go. Look at that. As I was saying, I used to ride my bike over the Williamsburg Bridge from Bushwick, you know, through the Houston Street, actually, or some people say Houston. It's Houston. I don't know why, but it is. And I would head over to the West Side Highway, and I would ride up and down. That was back when I was younger, of course, and had the stamina and the strength and all that. But even then, you know, I feel like cars are more aware of you on a bicycle than on this thing. It's like you're invisible for the most part. And if you're not invisible, then you're the most conspicuous thing on the planet, and they actually stop to look at you, which, you know, I guess is better than you know, not being seen. And I just realized that I have a light that I put on my helmet, and I didn't turn it on before I left. It's not really that big of a deal. It's more for nighttime, I guess, for riding at night, but it does kind of help with what I was just talking about. You want to be as visible as possible to drivers. You don't want them, you know, getting into an accident because they're distracted by you, but you want them to see you as they're passing you. And so at night I have a lot of reflective stuff on. That's what I really need to do. Practice just jumping on, riding a few feet, jumping off, riding a few feet, jumping off, along with the turns and possibly going in reverse. But yeah. Okay. Let's go here. I don't know if my pocket camera is working, so let's just look down. Looks like it's working. I don't know if it's recording, but we'll find out later. I'm gonna walk this across as soon as I can. Why did he stop there? Oh, because that's a railroad. Yeah. These little stops actually help. I'm not gonna lie about that. They do make me feel a little bit better. Here we go. Thank you. All right. So let's go over here. Get back on this. Yeah, this is more practice. So I'm getting better. Each time I do it, I get a little bit better. Oh, I hear something. Oh, no, I heard something. I thought it was my camera, but it's not. Okay, let's go this way. So, is he gonna turn? I gotta be careful here, because if he turns on red, which he can, okay, good. But I do want to avoid being in the street as much as possible. And I think the best route for me to take now, let's go, see that? I hit a wobble. As soon as I tried to look behind me, I hit a wobble just now. Last time I went to the right, and when I reached that intersection, that's where I actually almost got hit by a truck. He got real close to the curb, real close, and I ended up having to bail. And luckily, when I bailed, the unicycle kind of bailed along with me and went to the sidewalk. Okay, can I turn through here? I can do that. I'll go this way, and then I'll come over here. There's a lot of these little tar snakes. I think that's what they're called. I'm gonna turn up this way because I need to avoid that intersection at all costs. There's less traffic, bigger road, more space. If you are riding one of these things, or you're learning to ride one of these things, you do need to treat it kind of like a motorcycle. I do like to make that comparison a lot, but it's actually on a little motorcycle wheel to begin with. Tar snakes, those little, whenever there's cracks in the road and they don't want to fully fix the road, they kind of patch it up with, like, you know, this like rubberized tar. I gotta go on this side. It's a wider side of the street. Those are slippery as hell. It doesn't affect cars because they got 4 wheels, so there's always a chance that, you know, the other three wheels are going to be on the road, and you're gonna have stability. But on a motorcycle, you hit those the wrong way, you could fall. You could just wipe out. Here you have even less than 2 wheels. You have 1 wheel. So be mindful of stuff like that. You know, the stability on this thing is not as much as a motorcycle. It's just that simple. Now this thing comes with a stock tire, which I believe you can replace for better tires. That's my understanding. And also my understanding is that the stock tire is just good enough. So if I really want to go off-road, I need to get a different tire. If I really want to do like high performance riding on the street, I got to get a different tire. But I think for now, I think it's good for now. It'll do what it needs to do. So let's go up here. So we did make it back to the park, and I will say this: I'm okay. I could keep riding. I absolutely could keep riding. I think the fact that, let's go through here, screw it. I think the fact that I did get off, and even though it was very short, just got off and took a few steps, that was enough of a rest for my legs to kind of allow me to keep going. So I have hope that I can do super long rides. It's just I gotta every once in a while stop, take a little rest. I want to push this to its limit, and I believe its limit is, I can't remember if it's 70 miles or that could be kilometers. I can't remember, but you can go pretty far on this on a single charge, from what I understand. Now, I don't want to go all the way and then run out of battery and then get stranded somewhere, so I kind of have to half it, you know? Like, if the full range of this thing is, let's say it's 60 miles, then I want to go as far as 30 miles, then turn around and come back. That way, I'm already on the way back home if it dies on me. So it's less of a, you know, of a inconvenience for me. Now, as I said, I won't know its limits until I actually push them, which is a weird thing to say. I kind of want to go that way, but by now you should have seen, if you're watching my videos, all of them, by now you would have seen that I did try to go into that area that's off-road. It did not go well. This was about a month ago, I would say, when I was still learning. I got a little overconfident and I said, let's just see. Let's see what off-road is like actual off-road, gravel and stuff like that. And yeah, it didn't go well. I didn't fall or anything, but I realized very quickly that I was gonna fall and I was not gonna stay stable, so I jumped off. and it was like early on, so I had to really walk through the path. I haven't edited that video yet as of recording this video, so I don't even know if I'm going to include that. I'll probably try to include some of it, but I mean, who wants to see 10 minutes of me walking this motorcycle and probably complaining about that it was a bad idea to go in there in the first place? But either way, hopefully by the time you see this video, you'll have seen that video, if you're watching them. Because, as I said, I'm kind of backed up with the videos, and this video, I think the last video I posted as the time of me recording this one, it's about a month old. It was the first week of December, and as I said, this is January 12th. So yeah, they do take a little bit of time to edit and to put out there. I'm gonna stop here. Okay. Oh, because now I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my feet more than anything. But as I said, if I were to just rest a little bit, maybe take a little walk over here, it's like enough that I can then ride a bit more. But yeah, I guess this is as good a place as any to end the video. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Leave a comment, maybe make a recommendation of what you want to see. And with any luck, I will see you in the next video. And until then, take care.